Community Motors West Side, the GM Superstore next to Cinema West. Community Motors of Mason City, we give you more.
My name is Jacquelyn Arthur. I'm an attorney with the Heine Law Firm, 11 4th Street Northeast here in Mason City. I'm here tonight with my partner Jerry Stambaugh and also the applicant Joe Yavorsky and Rod Flores of Energy Recovery Specialists. As you know, before you tonight is a request for a conditional use permit for a waste-to-energy project on 43rd Street Southwest, adjacent to an Alliance substation, also adjacent to Golden Grain here in Mason City. Subsequent to filing our application with the city, we did receive a number of questions from city staff, to which you will see our responses in your packet. We also did attend a public forum city council meeting on October 4th, to which we listened to, and we also did make a presentation at that meeting. Out of that meeting, a list of questions were compiled from the public, and we do intend to respond to those questions at a public forum here in Mason City in the next few weeks. Tonight, what we'd like to do is talk to you about the application in front of you. As the Zoning Board of Adjustment, PM outlined to you your role. The role is to determine whether the waste-to-energy project is appropriate for this zoning district. And as Pam did point out, this is the location in our city that is zoned for these types of projects. And so it is our opinion that as far as the location of this particular project in Mason City, we are seeking a request for an appropriately placed project. We believe that staff has put together a long list of conditions. There are 23 in your packet. Pam has the PowerPoint there for you, and although we don't necessarily want to read each of those 23 conditions to you, we do think it's appropriate for everyone here tonight to see what those 23 conditions are, because it is our opinion that after listening to the questions at the public forum at the city council meeting, after reading the questions posed in the editorial in today's newspaper, that these conditions developed by staff appropriately and more than satisfactorily address those concerns. Now, Pam did go through with you 4 of those conditions to which we had asked for a little bit of modification and input, and I just want to touch on those with you briefly to go through those. As Pam pointed out, we just wanted to clarify, because the project does include accepting tires from the landfill of North Iowa, and so in the correct terminology, municipal solid waste doesn't necessarily include tires, so we didn't want there to be any question that we will accept tires, and we very clearly wanted the words local municipalities, so that there was no question from the public or from your board that we were shipping in tires from other states or from other regions, but basically the communities that are served by the landfill of North Iowa, that's where we would obtain the tires. So that was the reason for our request in the language change on condition number 4. As far as our number 7, as far as ash disposal, as Pam pointed out, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources will test that ash and then make a determination of its proper disposal. All of our research and investigation leads us to believe that that will be allowed to be disposed of at the landfill. However, you do need the ash to determine that for sure. So can't have that plan in final place before the building is constructed. It is actually something that needs to be put in place after the building is constructed. So that's why we're asking for the language change. We have no problem with the city also approving that ash disposal plan. Like I said, we do fully expect that it will be allowed to be disposed of at the landfill of North Iowa. So as Pam pointed out, we're comfortable with the language that approved by the IDNR and the city. The third modification had to do with the 14-acre site plan at number 13. The plan is that the north approximate 7 acres that are not developed with this plant would actually be continued to be row cropped. The current owners of the property farm that, and they would continue to do that under lease. We do see on the site plan there's sufficient buffers on the north side of that, on the east side of that, and on the south side of that. So we are unsure why spreading the project out into the full 14 acres doesn't actually, I think we're talking about the same thing. We've got a buffer on that north end by allowing the 7 acres to continue to be row crop. You've got the landscaping and the buffer closer to the plant itself. So we do believe that the intent, or what staff is asking for, is sufficient buffers. We do think that's being met by developing the plant on 7 of the 14 acres. As we go down in the future, if we do need sufficient room, if there does need to be expansion of the plant, we do have the room to the north to do that. The final condition that we had asked for a modification to is number 20. And as Pam suggested, that leaving the language that construction substantially be commenced, Trish, I think, added foundation. We're totally comfortable with that. But if you look at our projection dates as far as being operational, we're projecting that if we are able to continue forward with the permitting process, that we should be operational in the 4th quarter of 2013. So we were a little concerned about the language as drafted by staff. That's 2 years from now. We didn't want to continue down the process, have a lot of this work done, and then lo and behold be told by the city that your permit has expired. So we just wanted the clarification that this is a long process, and that as long as we continue to move forward on the process and are making progress, that permit will not expire. As I understand from city staff, one of their concerns was that we pass this permit on to another entity, and that would not be our objective at all. This is a project that the applicant is intending to work on. If all things go as planned, if we have DNR permitting and all the other permitting in place, we want to commence construction immediately. These projects are expensive and time consuming. There's a lot of permitting, there's a lot of front work that gets done. The company doesn't have a return on its investment until it's operational. So you can be somewhat satisfied or guaranteed that we're going to continue on this process as efficiently as possible, that we're not going to linger with the permit and not commence construction once all the permits are in place. We are here tonight to answer questions. We have listened to the questions at the public forum. We can answer those questions more specifically as they arise. We can answer questions subsequent to others posing the questions. But what we would ask of you is to consider our request tonight. As you can understand, this is a lengthy process, and each month that goes on, it delays, and someone has to go first, and we are asking you to go first. Now, as I alluded to, we are having a public forum open to the public meeting. We were just able to get the dates finalized for that, and the intent is to have a public meeting on November 16 here in Mason City, I believe, in the library. And another opportunity for the public to meet us, for us to answer questions, to show you our process, to give the public comfort with this project. We would like tonight, though, for your consideration, if you do have specific questions of us, we're here tonight to answer them. We want to give you the information that you need to make a favorable decision on behalf of this application. We'd also like to reserve the right to respond after opposition maybe has questions. If we could have some time to respond, we'd appreciate that. Thank you.